Passenger entry area. Entry door. Door and hinges are not damaged. Door opens, closes, and latches properly. Glass is clear and not cracked or broken. Entry steps. Securely mounted, free of debris if equipped. Step lights are properly working. Handrails, securely mounted. Fire extinguisher, 3 possible places: under seat, bulkhead, or driver area, securely mounted and properly charged. The needle is in the green. Interior mats, securely mounted, free of debris. Seats, check seat is mounted to the floor. The bottom, back, and arm rest are securely mounted. I reply, I will check the rest of the seats the same way I checked this one. Emergency exit windows. Emergency windows are clearly marked, securely mounted, not cracked or broken, and working. I reply, I will check the rest of the windows the same way I checked this one. Emergency hatch. Emergency roof hatch is clearly marked, not broken or damaged, and working. I would check this one of the other ones the same way I would check this emergency hatch. Windshield, securely mounted, clear, not cracked or broken, no obstructions. Mirrors, check all mirrors are for proper adjustment. Check that all internal and external mirrors and brackets are securely mounted with no loose fittings, not damaged and clear. Driver area, interior of coach. Seat belt. Seat belt securely mounted, adjusts and latches properly, not frayed or ripped. Grab the mounted area to check. Safe start. Press the master switch on. Check that ABS warning light comes on and turns off. Check transmission is in neutral. Check parking brake is engaged. Cover service brake and start engine. Oil pressure and temperature gauge are both climbing to normal operating range. Amp and voltmeter. Alternators are charging and warning lights are off. Diesel exhaust fluid. DEF is adequate fuel level. If fluid is less than 25%, it should be refilled. Air gauges. Building to 120 to 125 psi. Once 120 to 125 psi, governor cutout should engage per manufacturer's specs. Wiper and washer fluid. Check wiper arms and blades are securely mounted, not damaged, and operate smoothly. Proper tension on windshield washer fluid works. Horn, country horn works. Indicators. Check left and right indicators work. Check high beam indicator works. Check hazard indicator works. Heater defroster. Turn heater and defroster on. Reply, my heater and defroster work. Air brake test. Rolling service brake. Air pressure between 120 and 125 psi. Apply the service brake. Release the parking brake. Put the transmission in drive. Accelerate to 5 miles an hour. Apply service brake. Respond, there's no pulling to the left or right. There's no delay stopping. No grinding. Put transmission in neutral. Engage parking brake. Parking brake test. Air pressure to 120 to 125 psi. Apply service brake. Release the parking brake. Put the transmission in drive. Engage the parking brake. Press slightly on the accelerator and see if the parking brake holds. Reply, parking brake holds. Put transmission in neutral. Air brake check. Leaks, alarms, buttons. Make sure air pressure is between 120 and 125 psi. Turn master switch off. Turn master switch on. Open door, chalk wheel, and listen for leaks. Release parking brake. Apply pressure to the service brake to make sure the gauges stabilize. Make sure that the brake loses no more than 3 psi in 1 minute and listen for leaks. Make sure you, the driver, time the 1 minute. Reply, I do not lose more than 3 psi and I heard no leaks. Alarm. Pump service brake to bring air pressure down between 55 and 80 psi. Low air pressure light or alarm should come on. Continue pumping service brakes down to approximately 40 psi. Parking brake should engage. Restart engine. Front of coach. Clearance lights, multifunction left and right turn signal, four-way flashers, and reflectors are all securely mounted, amber in color, not cracked or broken. Headlights and high beams, all are securely mounted, clear in color, not cracked or broken. Windshield, securely mounted, clear, and not cracked or broken, no obstructions. Windshield wiper arms and blades, securely mounted, not damaged, proper tension on windshield. Steering box is securely mounted, not leaking, no loose or missing nuts and bolts. Hoses are not damaged, no power steering leaks, no power steering fluid leaks. Steering linkage. Connecting LAR. Links, arms, and rods are not cracked or worn. Sockets and joints are not loose or worn. No loose or missing nuts, bolts, or cotter pins. Passenger side of coach. Side markers. Clearance lights and reflectors. Top two in the front are amber in color. One in the rear is red and in color. Securely mounted, not cracked or broken. Multifunction side signals are amber in color, securely mounted, not cracked or broken. Front suspension. Springs and shocks. Air ride suspension is not damaged or leaking. Shock absorbers are secure and not leaking. U-bolts are not missing, loose, or broken. MLB. Spring mounts. Brackets, bolts, and bushings are in place. Spring hangers are not cracked or broken. Bushings are not damaged or missing. I'm assuming these parts are securely mounted, but I can't see them. Front brakes. Brake hose and lines. Securely mounted, not cracked or worn, frayed or leaking. Brake chamber. Securely mounted, no cracks, dents, or leaks. No loose or missing clamps. Slack adjuster and push rod, securely mounted, not bent or broken, no loose or missing parts. BBB or BB. If brakes are released and when pulled by hand, push rod should not move more than 1 inch. Drums, linings, or rotors, discs. No cracks, dents, or holes. Linings and pads are not worn dangerously thin. Check drums and linings have no contaminants such as grease, oil, etc. No loose or missing bolts. Front tire. Front tire cannot be a recap. Top tread, evenly worn, no cracks or cuts. Tread can be no less than 4/32 in depth. No debris between the tire and wheel well. Side wall has no cracks or blisters and in overall good condition. Valve stem and cap are not broken, damaged, or missing. Proper inflation can be checked with a tire gauge. Rim. Securely mounted, not bent or damaged. No illegal welds, no rust trails that might indicate that the rim is loose on the wheel. Lug nuts. Securely mounted and all present. No cracks, rust trails indicating looseness. Hub oil seal, securely mounted, all bolts are present, no leaks. Fuel cap and tank, securely mounted, no leaks above or below the cap and tank. Baggage compartments, spare fuses and circuit breakers. The doors and rods are securely mounted, not damaged, and latch properly. Reply, I will check the other doors the same way I checked this one. My spare fuses and circuit breakers are kept in this bay. Passenger side of coach and underside. Drive shaft, not cracked, bent, or twisted. U-joints are securely mounted and free of debris. Frame, not cracked, bent, or broken. No loose or missing members. Emergency triangles. inside the fourth luggage bay. Respond, I keep my 3 red triangles here. They are securely mounted. Rear drive tire. Drive tire. Rear tire can be a recap. Top tread is evenly worn, no cracks or cuts. Tread can be no less than 2/32 inch in depth. No debris in between the tire and the wheel well. Sidewall has no cracks or blisters and in overall good condition. Valve stem and cap are not broken, damaged, or missing. Proper inflation can be checked with a tire gauge. Rim. Securely mounted, not bent or damaged. No rust trails that might indicate rim is loose on wheel. No illegal welds. Lug nuts. Securely mounted and all present. No cracks, no rust trails indicating looseness. Axle seal. Securely mounted. All bolts are present. No leaks. Rear drive tire continued. Bud spacing. Bud spacing is not bent or damaged, evenly spaced and free of debris. Splash guard, securely mounted, not damaged. Rear suspension, springs and shocks. Air ride suspension is not damaged or leaking. Shock absorbers are secure and not leaking. U-bolts, not missing, loose, or broken. Spring mounts, brackets, bolts, and bushings, BBB, are in place. Spring hangers are not cracked or broken. Bushings are not damaged or missing. Rear brakes. Brake hoses and lines are securely mounted, not cracked, worn, frayed, or leaking. Brake chamber, securely mounted, no cracks, dents, or leaking, no loose or missing clamps. Slack adjuster and push rod, securely mounted, not bent or broken, not loose or missing parts. If brakes are released and when pulled by hand, the push rod should not move more than 1 inch. Drums, linings, rotors, disc. No cracks or holes. No cracks, dents, or holes. No cracks, dents, or holes. Lining and pads are not worn dangerously thin. Check drums and linings have no contaminants such as grease or oil, etc. No loose or missing bolts. Wheelchair lift. Securely mounted and not damaged, leaking or missing any parts. Fully retracted and is fully retracted. Ensure that the lift is operational, up, down, in, out, and back to stow. Rear of coach. Exhaust system, securely mounted, no cracks, dents, or holes. No rust or carbon soot indicating leaking. No loose or missing clamps. Rear lights. Clearance lights, tail lights, brake lights, and reflectors. All securely mounted, red in color, not cracked or broken. Multifunction left and right turn signal, 4-way and 4-way flasher. Securely mounted, amber in color, not cracked or broken. Reverse lights, securely mounted, clear in color, not cracked or broken. Note, some coaches have multifunction tail brake lights. With your assistance, I will check that the lights are working. I will check the left side of the coach the same way I check the right side, unless there is anything unique or different. This completes my pre-trip.